Put your faith in the light.
Hello guys, welcome to another one of my videos. This is Lightblade, and well, in this one I wanted to talk about gold making because you know it's pretty late into the season. You probably already made all your goals for it. So it's a great time to make some gold, and the farm that I'm going to be talking about is the Priority of the Sacred Flame farm. This place is really good for gold making because the gold you make from this place is pretty easy to get. You know, you put some stuff in the auction house and you get a bunch of also raw gold from it. So the thing that you guys want to know, and I'm gonna tell it right now, is how much gold do you make with this farm? And the answer is between 40 to 50k gold, sometimes even more depending on your RNG on certain items that we will be talking about in a second. So with that being said, let's go into the guide. Okay guys, let's talk about the setup and the professions that you need to get the most of this farm. First of all, you want to get some tailoring. Go to textile treasures and fill up the 30 points here. This is going to allow you to get more cloth from humanoids. After that, go to quality fabric and fill the quality fabric 30 as well. This is going to let you have rank 2 and rank 3 cloth drop from humanoids as well. And from dawn until dusk, you want to fill 30 at the first one as well. And then just click on downweave tailoring and duskweave tailoring. You don't have to fill these, just have to learn them, because the first point is going to allow you to get scraps from both types of cloth as well. So that's the basic setup for tailoring. Now let's go into inscription. This one is a lot easier because you only have to go to archival additions and you gotta fill the cryptic collection and get 15 points on each of these dark moon card nodes. And this is going to allow you to get, well, dark moon cards whenever you kill humanoids, which is going to make a pretty decent amount of raw gold when we sell them after we collect a few of them. So that's basically your setup for the professions. Now, what is the best class to do this farm? Obviously, the best race is going to be a Zandalari because they have their passive City of Gold. That's gonna give them extra 2% gold whenever they kill stuff. But I personally just do it on my Draenei because he's the guy that has tailoring and inscription on my characters. Also, I don't have a Zandalari. Now, you're normally going to do this on tanks because they are durable, and you're going to be pulling huge amounts of mobs that a DPS would not be able to survive, even on normal difficulty. So yeah, you just get a decent tank. I think Paladin and Demon Hunter are the best ones to do this because Demon Hunter has a bunch of CC, which is useful for the mobs in this dungeon that have kind of annoying abilities that reduce damage. And Paladin is also good because they have like a ton of damage. It's one of the highest DPS damage tanks, so those two are pretty good. But you can probably do it with other tanks as well. It's just going to be probably a bit slower. Anyways, that's all for the setup. Now I'm going to show you guys the routes that I do in this place. So let's go to that part. Okay guys, so this is the first route that I'm going to be doing. This is what I call the short route. You know, if you don't want to kill the first boss, and then just get some extra resources, you're going to be doing this. So you're just gonna gather all the mobs here, just hit these guys. So dismount, we get the orb from the middle because it does add some damage to our clear and making it a bit faster. And just I'm gonna grab every single thing from this part, and I'm gonna go to the place where most Mythic Plus people do their pull. You know, we're even gonna grab the big guy, and we're gonna wait for stuff to gather here. So depending on your class, you're just gonna have burst as high as possible and kill all the mobs here. You know, some of the range mobs are kind of annoying, but as a paladin we have the tools to just kill them from range and just finish them off. You know, it's a pretty simple farm. Sometimes it's a bit scary, especially if you're like kind of under geared, because some of these mobs hurt even on normal difficulty. But as long as you're around 650 island level, you should be able to do it easily with no problem. You know, also I'm a paladin, so paladins have a bunch of self-sustain. So try to kill the fat guy at the end so you can skip the mini boss that's gonna come after, so you don't have to kill it because you're gonna waste time there. So now we're gonna do the massive pull. So this is just literally every single mob that's in this whole area. So we're gonna grab all those things, go this side and grab all these footmen, all the sharpshooters, everything in this area. This is kind of annoying sometimes. Those mobs get stunned. You gotta wait for them to not be stunned so you can just gather them, because if you just go and even if you get near them when they're stunned, they're not gonna follow, which is kind of annoying, but it sometimes happens. So we're just gonna keep doing this, running all around these mobs, and we're just gonna keep going. So don't aggro the boss, let the mobs aggro the boss naturally, or sometimes they can make the mobs that are following you despawn or just reset. So just let the mobs aggro the boss naturally and keep running. So we got those things, and then we start hitting stuff here to gather all these other things. Just heal a bit so you don't die. And we're gonna go to this spot, which is really good to kill all the mobs that we gather. So just do what I'm going to do here. Wait for the light spawn. Always target the light spawn. Then you just go to this little ledge and start doing DPS. All the mobs should be here. I mistakenly looted there, but it's fine. So basically just target the light spawn always and kill it first, because you don't want it to burst of light like it's doing now, because that heals the mobs and it's going to make your clear slower. So just always target those light spawns. I'm gonna leave a macro there in the description of the video so you can like bind it to an ability, so you always target the light spawns. And that's pretty much it. That's the short clear, you know. You just kill all the things and just go back to the entrance. So if you do only this, you're going to get locked out, because as you can see the timer here, I did the full clear in around it's gonna be around 4 minutes and 30 seconds whenever I get to the entrance. So you're gonna get locked out. That's why you wanna do kind of a mix between long clears and short clears. So this was the short clear. This one you're gonna do around 6 times, I think, per hour. And now I'm going to show you guys the long clear as well. Okay guys, so this is the long clear. Like I said before, if you only do short clears in 1 hour, after 10 runs you're gonna get locked. So in order to not get locked for the hour, you wanna mix and match. You know, you wanna do around 4 long clears and you wanna do 6 short clears. That way you always are able to keep farming the place. The long clear, the only difference is, like I said before, you're gonna kill the boss and then you're gonna kill some extra mobs inside the cathedral when it opens the door, you know. We're just gonna do the same thing that we did in the short clear here. Just kill everything as fast as we can and as efficient as possible. Remember not to kill the fat guy first here. So you might think it's efficient to like target the guy. Don't do it. You're gonna kill him just because of passive AoE, and it's not worth it, because then after you kill him, he's gonna call the other mini boss and it's gonna be annoying for you because you're gonna waste time trying to kill that guy. There is really no way to skip this fat guy at the start, so you just have to deal with him. Now you can start like hitting the fat guy, because almost everything else is dead. He's the last guy alive, and that's pretty much the same as in the short clear. We loot the things and we just keep moving. It's a pretty fun farm as well, you know. It's pretty active. You do stuff. Pretty relaxing to just get some music and just do the farm. That's what I've been doing a lot, you know. I've been getting like around 5 WoW tokens a week doing this. Just farming this place, because cloth prices were pretty high. Are still pretty high, but when I was doing them, cloth prices were around like 22 gold to 20 gold at, you know, 20 to 22 gold. So it was really, really efficient. Now they're around 17, 18. They're still good. Okay, so now we're just gonna do the same thing that we did on the short clear. Just gather every single thing here. go to that little space that I showed you before, so we can just obliterate everything here. We drop down here and we start just attacking things. Gather every single one, and remember to always target the light spawns here. You want them to die because if they explode, they're gonna heal, and you don't want that because it's gonna make your clear very slow. So let's start targeting that light spawn and just start destroying these packs. Target the light spawn again. I have a macro that just makes me target always the light spawn here, and then just whenever there's nothing else, I just swap the other light spawn. As you can see, red pally, not red pallies, prot pallies have a pretty decent amount of damage, so this is pretty easy to do with them. You're very rarely in a place that you're gonna die, you know. You can always just full heal. One of the light spawn almost here healed there. Luckily he just died. Always loot here 2 times because there's so many mobs you have to loot twice. And now we're gonna do the part that is different from the short run. So you're gonna have to kill the boss, which takes around like 45 seconds to 1 minute. And it's not gonna give you a lot of gold by itself. Sometimes it drops a blue item, but it's nothing to brag about. What we want is the mobs that are inside this place when it opens. Those mobs are pretty lucrative. Although they don't drop green items, they do drop a lot of cloth, like an extra 40 cloth that you're gonna be getting from those. So I'm just gonna line up all my cooldowns to have wings, divine tall, everything, so we can burst them down as fast as we can. As a paladin, this boss is pretty chill, solo and normal, you know, because we have so many kicks. Because sometimes you can get stunned by the the caster mob here. Just try to always focus a kick on him. Kill the boss, and now we're gonna gather everything inside and kill it. And yeah, that's pretty much the long clear, you know. We do the long clear because we don't want to get locked from farming the place. You can only do 10 instances an hour. Although if you have, let's say, 2 paladin characters in different realms, you can obviously just do a bunch of like short runs and just swap between realms. I just have 1 here in mind, so I just mix and match long runs with short runs. But if you have more, let's say, characters that can actually do this place, obviously do that instead, you know, instead of doing a bunch of long runs. Just kill these guys. These guys are a lot easier to kill than the other mobs downstairs because they don't have like those paladins that put shields on, or the knights, I think. And they drop a bunch of cloth and some extra like gold, like around 150 extra gold. Which, you know, in 10 runs, it's gonna add up. Well, actually like 4 runs if you do the method that I said before. Like doing a mix between short and long runs. And yeah, that's pretty much this type of run that you can also do. Okay, so you finished your 1 hour of farming. You should have something like this. So I already sold all the green items that I got for just some raw gold. But if you have an enchanter, you can get some extra profit by disenchanting most of them there, you know, so get some dust. Now, on the green items, there are also some of them that are really valuable. These are necks, rings, and cloaks. This is because people use these to gear up like alt characters so they don't start naked, and they sell 100%. I personally sold a ton of these items for a pretty decent amount of gold. As you can see, this neck sells for 500 gold as a just 597 item. If you can get these as rare blue quality, they also sell for a lot more, like 3,000 to 4,000 gold each. This run we didn't have that luck, so we just got these 2 green necks, and we also had some blues that sell for a decent amount of gold. And then we have the Dark Moon cards. So this is the reason why we take inscription. You're gonna get a bunch of these, and you are also going to vendor them for gold, you know, because yes, you can post them on the auction house, but they do have a pretty high deposit fee, and there is a lot of competition to sell them. These are used for enchanters to level up their enchanting, you know, to get more points of knowledge. But like I told you, there's a lot of competition, so we're just going to sell them for now. So at the start of your farms, you're going to get a few cards, you know. You're not going to be able to get so many as I did, you know, to sell. You're just gonna get a bunch of like random singular cards, but don't worry, by your 5th run you're going to be able to get a bunch of these, and you're just gonna sell them for raw gold, and you're gonna see that we get a ton of gold from them here. So after selling all those cards, we got 3k gold from them, you know, and that's going to be like that for each hour that you do once you get a bunch of them in your collection to just convert. So let's now put everything else in the auction house and see how much gold we got. So we're just gonna put it at the lowest price, you know. You can always like look at the price and don't get scammed, you know. So you're just gonna leave them there, and the add-on is going to tell me how much gold I made in total for this run. Let's keep posting. Let's keep posting. I'm also going to post the greens and the blues, so you guys see that they do have some value. So let's keep posting. Now let's post the blues. Okay, so the weapon here we're just gonna sell for raw gold because it's not very valuable, you know, the blue weapon. That's one thing you have to look for. Some of the blue weapons are like not valuable at all, you know, but some of them are pretty decently. So you can see those next 500 gold each. So we're just gonna sell this mace, and now we're gonna add up all the value that we got. So I started here with 0 gold, by the way. So we got 15k gold in raw, and from the auction house we got around 30k gold. So if we add up all that, we got like 45k gold per hour of this farm, which I think is a pretty decent amount, you know. Obviously we have to take off the 5% of the auction house, but still it's around 45k gold. And we got unlucky on this run. Some runs you're going to get, like I said, the cloaks, the rings, and the necks that are blue, and those sell for really high amounts. Let me just show you that so you actually believe me, you know. Let's see necks and look for 603 item level, and where is it? That these, you know, they sell for 4k gold, and people actually buy these because they want them for their all character. So if you're a lot luckier than me, you can go even higher than 50k gold an hour sometimes. And well guys, that's going to be the end of the video. I hope it helped you out. You know, you can get some extra WoW tokens or just some gold for the next season. And if the guide did help, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video. Thanks for watching, everyone.